Hello everyone and welcome back to the Diary of an Endodontist. So the usual question, Dani, I'm accessing through the crown and I cannot find the canal. What's going on? Could you help me please? I receive that daily. So the first thing I do is to take a three-dimensional scanner and to see where the dentist is and where the canal is and if I can do something to help. In this case, I was so happy to see that the dentist stopped before perforating the canal. So you can see the axial view here, and then the coronal and the sagittal view. And it was, although in the coronal view, it looks like it's on top of the canal, on the sagittal view, it shows that it's going mesially and almost perforated that tooth. So let me show you in a big detail here. That's what it looks like, quite close to the canal, not as much on the palatal canal, but on the buccal. But in reality, it's completely off-centered. Clinically, I think the dentist was trying to move away from that metal of the bridge and went a little bit more towards the mesial. And when he drilled, I think he drilled in a direction that was going too mesially, because it doesn't look off here, but it looks there. And if you pay attention, there is a line, a dark line going in that direction here. That's where the canal is, and let me show you. Now you can see that that's where the dentist was drilling, and that is where the canals were. So what I had to do is just to compensate a little bit, just to drill a little bit more distally, so I could expose that isthmus, so I could expose those lines of the canals. And sometimes if you are drilling off, it looks white when you are going off the pulp chamber, for example, in a molar. But when you are in the premolar, for example, lateral, or if you are going towards the PDL, that will start to look dark again. And that's when you need to be careful, because it's a shadow dark. It's not like lines. It's like more like a big thing dark. And that's when you are going off. So make sure you try to find some lines inside of the tooth. Those lines are your guidance. So that will tell you at the end of those lines, there are probably those calcified canals. After the root canal treatment, that's now the result, and you can see that there is a little bit of composite here, but it's not going through, and that's where it was the deviation of the canal. It won't be a problem because it was not too bad, but that was probably the inclination started to go away from that metal. It started a little bit more mesially, and the dentist did a small, very small inclination, but that was enough to go off a bit. So be careful next time when you are drilling through a crown, because with the crown in place, one, it gets really dark inside. So if you don't have magnification, you can't see that well. And two, it compromises the whole anatomy of the tooth, so it will mislead you in terms of the correct anatomy. So careful with that, and always pay attention on the inclination of the root as well, because that's another thing that you need to compensate. And if you have the opportunity to take a scan while you are accessing, so if you are going off and you cannot understand with a normal PA, even if you change the angulation of that x-ray, if you still can't see, take a CBCT, and it will tell you where you are, where the canal is, and what you need to do to correct it. Thank you very much. Take care.